welcome to my game development stream. Because we're gonna look at the current state of the game. That I need to start my dev environment. And then we're gonna think about what I wanna develop next, improve next, or whatever. King tree. If something happens here in the terminal, no, I can start my dev environment. Takes a few seconds. Now if this line is shown, it started, and I can call it in the browser. So I'm the blue dot shooting white dots, and these are enemies. If I hit them and kill them, I get kills, and I have enough kills. I get a level up, which gives me a skill point, and I then have an option to choose between 3 random upgrade options. Yeah, it takes pierce, which means my bullet can now hit 2 enemies. Multi-shot, I shoot more bullets. And shoot speed the rest is probably self-explanatory. If I come close to these enemies, they will run to me. If I'm too far away, they run away. And this one, let's see if I get far enough in here, there are new levels, so stronger enemies will come at me. If they touch me, I lose HP, and if I have 0 HP, I die. That's the current state. Now let's look at the task, or what I can do. Game task. Different enemies depending on map direction, that is what I was working on. So I have here at the top smaller and at the bottom bigger enemies. But I want to bigger currently just have more HP, but that's it. We want to spawn less bigger, but therefore they will give more XP. Gonna see about that. Animation queue, all move in sync. Let's move this down. Doesn't bother me at the moment. Projectile hit seems a bit off. So I most likely wanna do some more tweaking of enemy types and amount of enemies. Then wanna verify the hit detection, because it didn't feel quite right. And okay, this is something I did. This is now this part I'm working on. This is an idea. Color changes or fill amount changes. So as currently enemies mostly die in one shot, displaying HP is not so relevant. If I have so many enemies running at me, it's even hard to tell, so I'm not sure if it makes sense at the moment. But if the bottom enemies have more HP, maybe it changes. Let's see. Just spawn amount. Let's call it this. I spawn enemies in here. I did HP factor, size factor. Can I call the next one? It's spawn amount factor. Number. And XP factor. I think I need these. Now the big gives the spawn amount factor of 0.5. I will halve it, or let's make it. Well, let's try. XP factor is then 4. But let's also make it this way. And here. XP factor is 1. Let's try this. So I will have double. Do it right. Or should I do this is 1 and this is 0.5? Oh no, not 0.52. So I spawn double of them, but I have only half HP and half damage. Let's try it. I need to fix position with one enemies. I create them here. Here I do some check what type I want to spawn. And now currently I just do think I have to change it. One is I spawn for every tile. Half I spawn for every second tile. Or it could be a spawn probability per tile. Let's do this. Spawn. This. What do I have here? I have the game map and an ID counter. I do not have the game seed, the game random seed. I am in here and yeah, also I have not the okay, the problem is I need a random number, but because I'm in multiplayer, random numbers are difficult to handle. I generate based on map seed, maybe. Or should I put in the seed? Should I change the structure? hard to tell what's the most useful or most simple. And I'm just gonna pick one solution. So let's don't make it random, but pattern. It's easier for now. Spawn amount factor, XP factor. So I currently don't push in XP, but it's getting important. Why is XP not a value? Experience verse is not a value. Interesting. Number. And direction is indeed not required, and the stat is also not required. Okay. Now I should have some errors. Appearance verse number. I think I put it here. And this one. But multiply it with the type experience. I misspelled it. Factor. Find them. Oh. XP factor experience. Okay. Should work. I have more errors. Random here. This is too. Oops. It's moving. Okay. I give one experience for this. Do I have more errors? Yes, game test. Is it here? On experience. And fixed all errors. Now I wanna change the spawn amount factor. I don't wanna spawn every chunk. Oh, let's not here. Let's spawn amount spawn spawn value. Let's call it just so. I'm now Every time I spawn enemy, I can reduce it by 1 and add the factor. I think it would work. So if spawn value bigger equals 1, we spawn. And when we spawn 1, I will reduce it by 1. And spawn value plus equals enemy type point spawn factor. Could also write 1 multiplied, but as long as I have 1, I spawn every chunk, every tile, and see. Okay, now it works, although they are now spawn in lines. Might not be quite the random spawn position. This would be better. So spawn probability might look more better. Randomize is better, basically. Okay. Because they have a lower macro range. Should I? Probably I should also increase the acro range. Because they are bigger. Let's think. Base values I could change the respawn time. So important, I would say, alert enemy range to range. I think it's only in the beginning where it's such a problem. They will reach max values nevertheless. So I keep it. I wanna try random spawns. I have 2 options. I take the map seed for position based, like I do with tiles. In map generation, I have the Perlinget, but I do not need. Oh no, this doesn't work. I don't need a Perlinget for this. Do I use test fix random? I have a seed and 2 numbers. This is what I could use. So the name is just call it fixed random. I think about exporting it and using this. Let's do it. Export. It's currently the easiest. Save. And now I can go to this position and remove this. Let's move them for the moment. That should spawn enemy equals no, not this. Fixed random of let's do I spawn them per tile, so ij, and my seed number is map seed, and if spawn enemy is, if the random number is big, why doesn't he like have a seed? I hope I have the seed here. This can also be fixed random. It's a spawn factor. This is, so this spawn factor, if it's 1, I think it's currently, is this correct? Spawn factor at 1, it should always spawn. I fixed random, currently unsure, does it produce sinus? So it's bit, what was it, between 0 and 255? I think. Divided, yes, it's 0 and 255. So let's divide. Unsure if was correct, was I? Think again. Okay, I do cosinus sinus afterwards. So this should be divided by 256. I think this is what this produces. I'm not sure if it's, so it does negative. Let's for now we print them out and then no. And I need 256. If I roll a 1, 1 is bigger than factor. I don't create them. If this is a 1, it will spawn. It might work. Oh, this looks fine. But it repeats itself. Yes, correct. This is only the tile. So I need to also add chunk I, chunk j. Now it should no longer repeat itself. It still repeats itself. These are identical. Did I not save, not reload? It's them. Should work. Let's look into my values. Between 0 and 1. This is looking good. So lock. Then let's reload. One down again. They look identical again. Too much stuff. So EI4, then are they slightly different? Yeah, this one is missing. Two here. Okay, now one. This one is missing. It's strange. Still looks too identical. Chunk I, chunk J. These are again wrong, maybe? Times chunk size. And let's debug and see. Hmm. Here I have -5, -5. Okay, I see. This, of course, the next will be -4. And if I it will repeat itself just one pushed away. They are too close together. And I need to multiply this and multiply this. And this should fix it. Again, here it looks similar. chunk I negative, and I should not same. Should look better. Or it could work better. Here of open space. It won't run away. But these are different types. Here I don't see obvious repetition. This looked good. Here I also don't see obvious repetition, so it looks better. I think this works now. And this should work in multiplayer. Let's do multiplayer tests. Long time I did not do it. So reload. I don't remember my connect button. Is it P? Okay, I connected. I have both connected. I restart. I one with the left, I one with the right. I go and kill one. Here's a kill registered. 2, 3, different upgrade. Pull them up. And this side mimic multi-shot speed was looking identical. Pierce. Like this more. Let's run around a bit. So both sides have the same amount of kills, which is a good sign. Currently, all characters get the same XP. Every kill gives XP for every player. And comes the next enemy type, blue. Maybe oh, looks like there's a small line on the left. Oh, yesterday I had this line on the top. Now did see it might also happen on the other side. This one is down. I have 24 skill points, I might win them. Let's see where he died. I found the position. Let's see, looks identical. Let's run around a bit. As long as the kill counter will be the same at the end, it should look good. But now I restart once and Let's die one more time. Killed him. 5 kills. Died. Looking good. So I assume multiplayer still works. It should no longer be. This is decent, I would say. Adjusted the spawn amount. And I have a very simple enemy types depend on direction. Let's keep it. Different enemies. Enemy amount based on map direction. And one other idea is score changed. Change scoring based on distance away from center stack of kill count. Currently the high score is meaningless. Enemy object height. Also the game goal will change in the future. So it's just a temporary small change idea. Currently I can't see how far away I am. So how difficult it is, it would also tell me something about this. So collision, let's start. Collision is when I run into a stone here, it's half, I don't clip into it, and here I also don't. Which means that something doesn't add up. The same with enemies. I sometimes, if I miss them, yeah, this was maybe this bullet basically seems to pass on the side, but it still hits. See if I can set from the other side. This looks better. If we check bigger enemies, yeah, this died, although I definitely did not hit it. Yeah, I also did not really hit. I also did not hit. That's definitely too big. Let's try and find out. So let's call it a bug. And let's look into it. We start with projectiles. It happens in game. If here's a tick, we have here's a hit detection. Max enemy size is 40. I remember, but this is only... Oh, I actually see that, so that's... shouldn't make it hit too soon. Because here I calculate the distance for my character to the projectile. Distance is just standard distance from to point calculation. And if the projectile size... Oh, I did not have it here. This is an easy fix, so we think smaller. This should be correct. Let's take a bigger enemy and see. Basically at twice the size. This did look okay. This was also okay. Now I'm shooting between them, which seems fine. This hits, this is fine. This passes, this is fine. Still passes. No, I hit. Looking good. Now the top. Let's take this for top and bottom. This passes, which looks good. This hit, this passes, looks good. This did hit. So far, I think it works. Let's see. These missed is correct. I would say this was a bug. Now, collision here, I can run relatively far into a tile on one side, but not from the other, and I wanted... It's not to be the case. This is character moving. And move character tick. I check if the position is blocking, and the position is a new character position. I find the block based on it. Why it? Divided by chunk size and floor it. I think this should be okay. And then get just the key. Flooring should push me always into the top left. Does it change based on negative? No, also negative. I go down. And then... Okay, this is only the chunk I determine. Here I determine the tile. This might be a problem. If I modulo both way divided by map tile size. Should probably also put it in function. Position to tile, position to chunk and position to tile. I know that with modulo I can have negative and I can get the chunk length to get my positive value. I get the correct tile, I would say. Maybe I should verify it. Let me print out my position. Leveling character. Character tick. If I'm moving and if I move console log my XY. This shouldn't be too spammy. Just console I relog. Here I want it doesn't matter. So let's correct it. On minus 8040 it changes. But it's one to here. This is correct. Okay, what I do not see is how much in the middle the block is. 3. So on the right side I have right top I have a bit space which is blocking. On the stone it's each side a little bit. With the stone I can run far into it. Based on these values, it's what I expect. Also the shots seem to come out a bit lower. Consider it's this way. It's pretty still, I mean, it's not tragical, but it might mean there is some painting is not quite accurate because it's not how I wrote the code in my view. Let's see. Come to me. 41 just seems okay when they hit me. Currently only but based on the position of these enemies on the tiles, it looks good. I spawn them in the middle and they look in the middle. Even for the big enemies. So if my middle is here, I would guess I'm too far in. If my middle is this, I'm not too far in. See that the calculation of these values looks like what I wanted. This is one. This is maybe one pixel closer, but it's always very near. Do I paint the circle? Okay, maybe I paint the circle still wrong and the enemy is correct. Let's see, paint character. I take paint X and Y. Paint X and Y the top left and paint arc. Really not sure. Let's see, canvas, JavaScript canvas. Where is the horizontal body of the arc center? Okay, it's the arc center. It explains everything. So I'm shortly FK. And I'm back. Moment. Oh. Where was I? Painting of the arc. I realized that the coordinate is the center. So I can choose. Where do I? The test if it's outside. I take the character size and width. This is not correct. If this is now the center, I think it's easier if I, well, it's slightly less computing. I add it in here. Let's put this in multiple lines because it's getting long. Let's do some double lines, which basically use the same value. Size, paint X, paint Y. So I will move it from here. Only use it for this paint. Checking if it's outside. Using character size and width should be correct. And here it now should be no, now I'm confused. This was horizon of the arc center. It was a center position. Didn't mean it was correct. Well, let's just try and see what happens, and maybe then we know. Did not change. No, I'm now more inside in both. At least it looks better. Let's come and hit me. They touched me and I didn't lose. Same here. Come a bit top. Seems fair, but I have to be closer than it felt too far away, but this works better. So it's a character, camera position plus center. Center of the canvas. Normally this should be 0. Because the camera is currently fixated, if it's my player character. So it's the middle of the screen. And okay, this is the middle of the screen, and if I subtract it as the top left of the, so this middle, now it's correct. Okay, I think now I understood it correctly. Let's see, can you not, if I adjust it. So I think I fixed my collision detection to now be correct. I need to remove the console log, which I put somewhere. Did I miss it? Here. Removed. And bug fix. I can also look into it and collision detection. Let's. Did not press this. I did not stage my stuff. Push. I wanted to look into enemies hitting me detection. Oh, I didn't remove this stuff. I fix more stick. I want to look in this. It's enemy size, half close layer, and the position. This should be correct. Make a command clean. And so it should be correct. I can remove this part. If enemy low, then color changes or fill amount change. Should I make visible how much HP enemy has? So I could. Okay, if it's green and the grass is green, then it's hard, but I could. No, this is which require more colors. Should I display? I could display a HP bar, but this will probably make more sense for boss enemies, which survive a lot more hits. So knowing that they take 2 hits currently would be fine. Let's think, what could I do? I would say I don't do this now. I also don't want to do this now. Let's make it on future options. Chain scoring. Okay, I could chain scoring. Let's make it. Well, this also reminds me that my HP. It can now only. So I have kills. Could also display distance to center. I think kills is an interesting statistic. So paint, high scoreboard. Scores. Let's see, scores doesn't say kills. So let's say distance. If the game, I think it happens here. Game engine end game does it. If I'm testing, it's not kill counter. I wanna Let make mass point floor of state if the game state. I need the player furthest away from the center. Does each player get his own score? Okay, how do I score if I have multiple players? The average distance or the max distance? Let's take the furthest away player. Let's put in here for now. Let score equals 0 for, let's call it new score. For I think I load this of correct state players. I have a player, I have a character, and I want to calculate the distance to the center, which should be 0, 0. I don't think it's 0, 0 actually. 0, 0 is top left of the chunk. So I need, I think, that distance equals this. Let's take 0, 0 for now. If distance bigger than new score equals distance, and in the end we put the distance in here. The new score in here. Good work. Let's reload. Let's see. I don't see this, but if I won, I now have 2 scores. Interesting. Why? I push 1 score. And I should mass point round it. New score is a number. Let's reload. Let's start. Let's run. $41. I'm confused. I push. It's only called here. Only if I end it. Was it broken before? Did this change make something? Let's do a second. I have no 4, no 3. Ah, I see. It's the game ends directly. It does one tick. Is this required? For some reason, let's change it. Game model. This game ended. In the state. Ended is false. I think I should start with 2, or doesn't this create? Okay, this should refuse. Okay. My server was not running. I still have this one. What ended is 2. Let's try to understand what happens. I create the default game, I init it. On init it's no longer ended. I say the game is 2. Then let's also say stay ended equals 2. Okay, then he does not generate the chunks. But I can also care for this. Definition tick does let's generate the chunks. And function not implemented. Oops, I pressed something wrong again. Missing function declaration. Okay. Let's see. Game generate missing chunks is not exported. I will export it. See if it's working. I can import it. No. Now this goes away. So, why do I need the game in it? Let's remove it and see what happens. Because then I wouldn't need these 3. I do not have a player character. To generate missing chunks. Player characters. I'm only interested in the XY position. So I could make a position area out of it. Positions. I could make positions. I rename position. We should not care. Perfect. Now I can generate map based on x0, y0. And make this an array. Oops. Could work. Again, seems fine. Now if I have one score, okay, perfect. So this might be great. I could also generate the tiles here. It's a game. I set the seed. Let's move it there. I think it's better. For testing. Let's import. Perfect. Domain no longer needs seeds. Load again. Seems fine. Now let's get back to game paint. Paint the high score. And I want the calculation for the distance to be after the kill counter. It's better. Paint. Scoreboard. Player stats. It gets a character. Let's go here. Here I also not the kill counter. It's here. So let's make paint distance counter. It will need CTX and game state player. Let's do it. But I think I want my own distance and not from others. Let's see. I have the player here. Player stats. Okay, this is not based on a player. I think I will move it to paint player stats. Although this is a lot of stuff in here. HP time. Now I wanted distance. I have a character here, so let's just the character we get. We import it. Now we have the distance. And let's take a random free space to paint it. If I let's see if I connect to restart, I have the ping here. I move the ping down and let's do it. I will. This is strangely formatted. Perfect. It's terrible. Distance. Yeah, distance. It's 1040 maybe. Yes, and let's see where the middle is. It's indeed it's not the perfect middle. But not so important. I have to move the ping down. Where do I paint the ping? I paint the ping down to 60. And now I have score based on distance. $1,300. Six and down. Oh no, dead end. Already a better score. 1,800. Okay. Think this works. Score change to distance instead of kills. Shit. game task, and now I have nothing in next task. I have to choose a new, but refactoring will be most likely one good next step, but let's decide over functional stuff. Probably character stuff. So a player character. Here I could start with images for player. Next I can build one new type. Let's just take a melee character. And let's make some more images for player. Random my list character image. Random head, body, legs. Let's eyes, hair, something like this. I make options, I build a random character and then I play it. It just looks. So if multiple players play together, you can see who is who, because they look different. Images for players. I think this seems okay. Melee. Let's make sword as weapon. And as upgrade options is bigger sword or more swords. This is my first new class. Would be new. Let's call it class type. Player class. Current class we have is basically a testing character. Sword as weapon, upgrade options, bigger sword or more swords. And HP speed can stay, but this means I need to choose class at beginning. Let's call it player class. Around. I think this can work as next functional steps. Refactoring, I think I will gonna stay at next time. So now I can play a bit my game and see what high score I can reach. Next task ideas. Doesn't need an extra commit, but I will. So let's play. Basically, let's try once running top and then one round running bottom and see how the scores compare. Now running top takes more time because each bullet kills, and at the start it's more difficult to kill many enemies instead of one enemy. Which has more HP but still dies in one hit. Get my next skill point, multi-shot, perfect. Yes, perfect. Now I can hit 4 enemies with each shot. Okay, hitting the smaller one is currently difficult. Need more multi-shot for spreading. Maybe I should start left for level farming. Once I'm bit leveled, I will run in the top direction. So now I have a lot of multi-shot. I think hitting the small targets is not the problem now. Let's increase shooting speed. I need movement speed also. Okay, the XP does still not go for later enemy level. Should move to movement speed soon. Yeah, let's do one. And HP will become feels like it's small targets are hard to hit. I get further and they get bigger, maybe it's easier. Maybe my damage is also too low. It's damage. It's getting dangerous. Maybe one back damage here. I think this was missing. Other damage. So let's use blue. No. It's basically the more time I spend, the further I will be able to get, because I have more skill points. Currently, I'm struggling. It's not as easy as it was. Just running endlessly and getting a lot of skill points. But also the enemy hitbox is corrected, so before I was hitting them far easier, because the hitbox was basically doubled. Let's do else. I don't see how my upgrade distribution is. Maybe would also help see what I skilled how often. I mean, multi-shot I can somewhat count. Shoot speed I can also see somewhat. Pierce I have to be able to remember. Okay, oh god. This gets dangerous. As long as I basically running away and shooting at enemies. Difficult. I survived. It feels like spawning enemies sometimes onto me. Well, still not sure. It's hard to get further. They surround me so much. It's incredible. Oh. I could. Okay, I died. 6,200 is my distance. This is not. Let's try bottom now. A multi-shot. So leveling is far faster. I kill the big ones at the beginning. Will I be able to run further? Probably. I increase my speed. Okay, red enemy is... Black enemy size. Don't think I increased the damage of them. To make the bottom easier. Okay, the enemies can spawn in bullets, which can make them run to me directly. Skill points more. Okay. Now I have again. Okay, if I move it seems like the shot did spread more. Forgot which distance I died on the other side. Was it 8,000 or? It's black. I will skill one speed a lot now. At least I try. Maybe some HP. More speed. think I'm fast now. Let's see what happens. Okay, I cannot really run through it so easily. Let's see. One on good luck. Oh. There is a tight spot. It's getting dangerous. Can I fire at it? Oh, I didn't see the tree. 6,000 and now 8,000. Okay. I would say bottom is a bit easier. Mainly because it's easier to hit big enemies and so therefore do the damage on them. But game more or less works. Still this gets interesting if there's a lot of enemies running to me. But and the player has a choice if he wants to farm the easy enemies, but I think the biggest problem is that farming low enemies is currently the best option. So I need to increase the XP of later enemies and to make leveling up slower over time, probably. Encourage running outside more. Currently, and I think at some point enemies need abilities, or at least there need to be special enemies with abilities. But it's too crowded for that, I think. Currently the skill requirement is don't run into enemies. They surround you. There's no place to dodge abilities from. It could be that there's a boss area and near the boss no enemies spawn. Maybe it's surrounded by bullet stopping. Could I make... Currently enemies can aggro through terrain. Blocking terrain, maybe this can also be changed. But let's end for now. This is the current state of the game. Thanks for watching, bye bye.